Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Kraken troop and some teams that you can use with him. He is a legendary in the event key drop pool this week. Easiest week you'll be able to get him. He is the only legend in the drop pool, so he'll be relatively easy to get. We'll likely get within a 50 of event keys. You'll also likely get Bonnie Rose and Captain Skullbeard, both of which are pretty decent troops. As far as the Kraken troop, it is really good for being able to loop between a giant spider. Most teams do tend to use it with a giant spider. This particular one that we're going to be starting off with uses a green seer giant spider, as both of those can loop between each other. Two really big benefits with a Kraken is its final trait, if you happen to have it, which deals 3 damage to all enemies every single extra turn you get. This stacks if you have multiple Krakens, so we'll be doing 6 damage to all of our enemies whenever we take an extra turn. So as you can see right here, it'll do 6 damage to them. You can see that 47 will go down to a 41, and every single time we get one of these extra turns, 6 damage to all of them. So quite a bit of damage through that. But the other really good thing about it is it does have a 40% chance to devour the final troop. One thing you should note about this is if you end up killing the final troop with the damage from the ability, it will not have any chance to devour. But if the last troop does survive after the damage that it does, then it will do the devour. And of course, the other thing that he does is the damage. He's one of the few troops that can actually hit the second to last troop automatically. This is pretty good for AI teams, as the third slot on every team with what currently exists in Gems of War tends to be the safest spot you can ever put an important troop on a team. And Kraken is one of the few that the AI will always be able to control correctly, as it will hit that pretty vital spot. But we don't get any skulls there, but we'll throw this down. And of course, the other thing it does is create a bit of blues. More often than not, you just use this for a giant spider loop with the Kraken, since you can just use the spider now. It gets all of its mana, you just give it right back. And ideally, you would keep looping back and forth. Normally, this doesn't occur. At most, you tend to only get this to happen a few times, but if you get lucky, it can happen multiple times. As I said earlier, we didn't have any chance to devour there because we end up getting a kill. We can throw down a giant spider here. That will give out the most of our mana. We do want to make sure we can keep the blues on the board if we can help that, just so we can keep getting the extra turns off of our Kraken, just like right here, and we're going to be getting the kill anyways. But okay, we did miss, but this is still enough to win. And there we go. If you don't happen to have double Kraken, one other thing that works pretty good with this is a web spinner right there. If you don't happen to have either of those, you can just put a brown-red troop on the team. As this team does not use brown-red, you could just replace out one of the Krakens for a brown-red that you happen to have laying around. So let's go into the tanky Kraken, and perfect timing for a Bone Dragon too. This is really similar to the Gorgoltha Dragon Soul Christinex, or the Gorgoltha Dragon Soul Giant Spider combo. Works with pretty much any 4th slot, really versatile. It is nice to have with a Kraken, as it does apply a lot of extra damage, and of course it still has the Giant Spider Kraken loop, which is one of the main things that Kraken is used with. So right off the bat, we will want to go for either Gorgoltha or the Dragon Soul here. Let's not really able to get too much mana. Pretty bad starting board, but hopefully we'll be able to pick up on something. I'm going to deliberately give him skulls just to make sure he doesn't take any important mana. He might even give us some kind of cascade. He does give us some purples. Again, I'm just going to leave him the skulls. Try for a green, I guess. Might as well attempt it. We don't get it. Let's see. Reds or purples still can't get, so we'll just have to go on there. We do have a -1 yellow banner. We're using the normal standard, not Kraken banner, using the standard Dragon Soul banner, which is the +2 purple, +1 red, -1 yellow. So Gorgoltha is getting up a little bit slower. He actually would have had full mana if we didn't have that banner chosen. And really weird order for starting off, but we finally got it started. We'll be able to get Dragon Soul to clear out the board, and should start to be able to get some of our more important cast off. So there we go, Gorgoltha. That'll fill up pretty much our entire rest of our team, and now we can really get going with it. So ideally, we'll basically just want to do what we did previously, just keep looping the Giant Spider Kraken whenever the board doesn't look like it's too good, kind of like right now. We'll just want to clear it with a Dragon Soul until we get more blue on the board, so we can actually get this rolling. More blue and more purple. Preferably more blue though, because that's a lot more important, because at least with purple we always know where we're going to get the cast, whereas these blues we just need to have more of them on the board to increase our chance, since we have no control over where any of them go. There we go on the 40% chance, and the extra turn over there we'll just throw down the dragon soul into a giant spider, and all we'll have to kill is the bone dragon on our next turn, which as long as we can get a purple extra turn, which you kind of just stopped right there. So we can do it on blue. It's one of the last colors I'd want to actually deny this team from, but he's at a low enough HP at this point that it won't matter if we remove it, and he's so low that we can actually just take a skull to end it right there. So there we go. So really resistant, has 2 tanks up front, so you don't really need to worry about anything, and then you just have the giant spider Kraken combo in the back to do the majority of your damage. And of course, if you happen to have him fully traded, he is doing that additional 3 damage every single time. Ooh, a really annoying one for the final time. We may lose our Kraken here. I don't know if I should repick or not. Let's try it though. In this kind of team, we're doing it with the Justice team, the standard Valkyrie Justice Queen Mab. Pretty good, since we'll be able to utilize the blues that the Kraken creates in order to get our Justice going even better. Since there's already going to be so many blue on the board, we'll be able to utilize that, and Kraken will pretty much always be able to get its turn. Similar to previously, even though we're not using a proper tank, I do want to bait out skulls. I unfortunately got the skull off of the cascade, so we're not going to be able to do it. In that instance, we could bait again if we take these browns. We don't actually need that mana, so I'm probably just going to ignore them. We'll go for the green into the purple. We'll get Kraken up. One pretty nice thing about this team is just using Kraken in first slot in general is if you can get a Devour off with it, it's absolutely huge. Sometimes you may want to use it in second slot, as it can be a bit risky keeping it in first slot. As you can see, that Bone Dragon gets a cast off. We are almost guaranteed going to lose our Kraken, so hopefully we can prevent him from doing so, though it is pretty inevitable that he will get it off. So we'll just try. I'm trying to get Valkyrie up right now, getting some Justice mana if we can't take anything, but we finally do have the Valkyrie. Once we get that off, we should be ready to go on this team. And yes, we can. We'll go and do that on the Browns there, get the manas. We'll get some freezes off too from fully traded Queen Mab. As long as they're 13 or more green, 13 or more blue, we can cast Queen Mab without losing a turn. Try to get an extra turn, great. And if we happen to get Kraken mana at any time here, we'll be able to cast that out and most likely get an extra turn, since there are so many blues already on the board. It's also helping to give 3 additional damage to all enemies every single time we get an extra turn, which we're going to be getting a lot of here. And ooh, a little bit short on all of our mana. I'm probably just going to take a skull here, and let him take a skull and see what happens from there. So we'll take ours. Hopefully he'll leave us somewhere so that we can take something. Well, extra turn, but we're frozen because we hit the Bone Dragon, but I'm still going to take it just for a little bit of damage. But yeah, we didn't really need to use Kraken too much. We kind of used it with the Queen Mab a little bit with the AoE. If it gets the Devour, the second it gets the Devour, it's completely huge up front, which is pretty nice. We weren't able to do it this time though, but we can just wrap it up with a Queen Mab. Could do the Justice as well, or even just a Skull with that 97 damage, which is now exactly 100. So that is the Kraken. Definitely among one of the better legends in the game right now. I would highly advise at least trying some keys on it, as it is the only one. Even if you do end up missing the Kraken from the event keys, one pretty other nice thing is you will get a Bonnie Rose most likely. Bonnie Rose is pretty good earlier on in the game. She's used for one-shotting troops. One pretty nice thing is she has a 2-to-1 ratio on the amount of gold that you have accumulated. This normal cap is 100 unless you have merchants on the team, which means you'll automatically, if you reach the max goal, be doing an additional 50 damage. And of course, the earlier you are in the game, the more effective 50 additional damage will be. And she's kind of nice to have, just as a backup if you really want to take something out really quickly that's ever being extremely annoying to you. She's one of the better troops to be able to do that with. Plus she gains a decent amount of gold. But anyways, that is Kraken. Those are the Blackhawk troops for the week. Hope this was helpful. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.